Dear students, welcome you all to BA Part-3 English Literature class. Again, we are going to discuss W.B. Yeats's poem, A Prayer for My Daughter. In this poem, as I told you before, that the poet is praying for the well-being of his daughter, Annie. She is born in a time of uncertainty during 1919. So he says that she must not be very much beautiful, because beautiful women become quite cruel and they do not care for the feelings of others. Right? So let us come to the next paragraph, next stanza. In courtesy, I would have her chiefly learned. Hearts are not had as a gift, but hearts are earned by those that are not entirely beautiful. Yet many that have played the fool, for beauty its very self has charm made wise, and many a poor man that has robbed, loved, and thought himself beloved, from a glad kindness cannot take his eyes. In these lines he says, in courtesy I would have her chiefly learned. The poet prays for his daughter so that she may have not bewitching beauty, the beauty which attracts each and every heart, but she must have virtues like courtesy. Hearts are not had as a gift, but hearts are earned. Hearts are not had as a gift, but hearts are earned means hearts are not bestowed as a gift for nothing. They have to be captured by endearing, courteous behavior. He says that courtesy is an aristocratic virtue which the poet values highly. It is courtesy which enables to win the hearts of people permanently. By those that are not entirely beautiful, yet many that have played the fool, for beauty is very self. The poet reflects on the wisdom and maturity which his marriage with an average Mrs. Gregory Leach has brought him. Though she was not very much beautiful, yet she won Yeats's heart. Like many others, the poet also acted like a fool for the sake of a beautiful lady, Maudgon. For beauty's very self had charm made wise, and many a poor man that has robbed, loved, and thought himself beloved, from a glad kindness cannot take his eyes. He thought that he loved her and she loved him too, but he was in the wrong. Beautiful women hardly have any heart. Ultimately, it was not beauty but courtesy that won his heart. So here, while giving his own reference that how he was attracted towards the beauty of Maudgon, but she rejected him. Later on, he came into contact with Gregory, Mrs. Gregory, and she was not so much so beautiful, but still she was courteous. So this courtesy won his heart, and ultimately he married to this daughter, to this lady. So he wants that his daughter should not be very much beautiful. She must have the virtues like courtesy. So let us come to the next part. May she become a flourishing hidden tree, that all her thoughts may like the linnet be, and have no business but dispensing round their magnanimities of sound, nor but in merriment begin a change, nor but in merriment a quarrel. O may she live like some green laurel, rooted in one dear perpetual place. May she become a flourishing hidden tree. The poet prays that the soul, the inner life of his daughter, should flourish and reach self-fulfillment, like a flourishing tree, that all her thoughts may like the linnet be, and have no business but dispensing. Round this inner life should cluster thoughts, happy and innocent, like the linnet tree. Their magnanimity of sound, nor but in merriment begin a change. The linnets are symbol of innocence and cheerfulness. The linnets are happy themselves and make others happy by their songs. Nor but in merriment a quarrel. Oh, may she live like some green laurel rooted in one dear perpetual place. He imagines his daughter to be very much happy within and should infuse that happiness among others, like the linnet tree, like the you see like the like the birds which are very much innocent. So he says that the trees are not only symbolistic of inner life but also stand for constancy in place and the life of tradition. The poet considers a life rooted in tradition to be a happy life, and so wishes that his daughter's life should be rooted in one place and tradition like a laurel tree. Such fixity in place and tradition would result in the maximum of happiness for her. कभी इन पंक्तियों में प्रार्थना करता है कि उसकी पुत्री एक फलते फूलते वृक्ष की तरह आत्मसंतुष्टि प्राप्त करे। जैसे लिनेट पक्षी होता है, वो दूसरों को सुख देता है, एकदम इनोसेंट होता है, उसके आसपास भी इसी तरह के विचार एकत्रित हों। लिनेट जो है वो स्वयं भी प्रसन्न रहते हैं और अपने गीतों के द्वारा दूसरों को भी प्रसन्न रखते हैं। इसी तरह उसकी पुत्री होनी चाहिए। इसी तरह लॉरेल ट्री जो होता है वो स्थिरता का प्रतीक है, ट्रेडिशन का प्रतीक है, परंपरा का प्रतीक है। उसी तरह उसकी पुत्री जो है उसका लालन पालन इस तरह से हो कि वो अपनी परंपराओं को समझे। स्थान और परंपरा में ऐसी स्थिरता के परिणाम स्वरूप उसे अत्यधिक सुख प्राप्त होगा। My mind, because the minds that I have loved, the sort of beauty that I have approved, prosper but little, has dried up of late, yet knows that to be choked with hate may well be of all evil chances chief. If there is no hatred in a mind, assault and battery of the wind can never tear the linnet from the leaf. Again the poet reflects his pain of loving Modcon. My mind, because the minds that I have loved, the sort of beauty that I have approved, prosper but little. Because the sorts of beauty and mind such as possessed by Modcon do not do well in life due to hatred which they harbor in their hearts, has dried up of late, yet knows that to be choked with hate may well be of all evil chances chief. My mind has lost its balance because of the hatred, barrenness and dryness of the mind of the beautiful ones I have come into contact. If there is no hatred in a mind, assault and battery of the wind can never tear the linnet from the leaf. Assault and battery of the wind, blows of misfortune, linnet from the leaf, linnets which symbolize innocence and cheerful thoughts, and leaf the soul of a person, the inner life. Here in these lines, the poet wants to say that when he looks into his own mind and heart and finds that such have been the experiences of his life and such was the beauty he loved, she has hatred within herself that she invoked in the heart of the poet himself. He regards hatred as the worst of all evils and prays that his daughter should be free from that evil. If there is no hatred in the soul, no buffets of misfortune can ruin the innocence and cheerfulness of a person, just like the linnet tree, which cannot be rooted out from its depth. So let us come to the next stanza. An intellectual hatred is the worst, so let her think opinions are accursed. Have I not seen the loveliest woman born out of the mouth of plenty's horn, because of her opinionated mind, barter that horn and every good by quiet natures understood for an old bellows full of angry wind. An intellectual hatred. Intellectual hatred, strong opinions which are encouraged by those ladies who are very much intellectual, An intellectual hatred is the worst, so let her think opinions are accursed. Opinions are accursed? Yeats disliked women having strong opinions. He wrote in his diary on 1910, women, because the main event of their lives they have been give themselves to an opinion as if it were a stone doll. Strong opinions make them opinionated or unreasonable and fanatical. Have I not seen the loveliest woman born out of the mouth of plenty's horn? Because of her opinionated mind. It was because of the opinionated mind that Morgan, the most beautiful woman whom Yeats so much so loved, refused to marry him and married a boor. Barter that horn and every good by quiet natures understood. Horn, beauty. The loveliest woman born, Morgan. Out of horn, Morgan belonged to a good family. For an old bellows full of angry wind. Angry wind? John McBride, whom Morgan married. Here the poet says that his daughter should avoid the weakness of Morgan. Intellectual hatred is the worst of faults and the worst kind of hatred, and so he would like his daughter to have no strong, stubborn opinions, political or of any other type. It was because of her strongly held opinions that Morgan acted so foolishly. She was so much so beautiful and well-born, but she ruined her life and happiness and her chances in life by marrying John McBride, a worthless, vainglorious lout. Let us come to the next lines. Considering that all hatred driven hence, the soul recovers radical innocence and learns at last that it is self-delighting, self-appeasing, self-affrighting, and that its own sweet will is heaven's will, and she can, though every face should scowl, and every windy quarter howl, or every billows burst, be happy still. Again he says, considering that all hatred driven hence, the soul recovers radical innocence. If my daughter is free from all intellectual hatred, she would enjoy an organic innocence and inner peace. And then she will meet her self-delighting nature and self-fulfillment. She might feel self-contained and learns at last that it is self-delighting, self-appeasing, self-affrighting, and that its own sweet will is heaven's will. Her own will and pleasure shall be expressive of the will of heaven. She can, though every face should scowl. Scowl? To look someone very angrily. क्रोध भरी निगाहों से किसी को देखना. She can, though every face should scowl and every windy quarter howl. Howl? Scream, the loud winds, or every billows burst, be happy still. Billows? The heart which is full of ill will for others. So here in these lines the poet imagines that his daughter should be free from all intellectual hatred. She would enjoy her innocence that will bring about inner peace, her soul finding its fulfillment, self-containment within itself and not in working like Morgan on the happiness of others. Her own will and pleasure shall be expressive of the will of heaven. She would then be happy despite all the storms of misfortunes that may strike against her innocent head and the hostility of the world. If she is happy within, she can come victorious against all the misfortunes or the hospitality of this world. And in the last stanza, what does the poet say? And may her bridegroom, bring her to a house where all is accustomed, ceremonious, for arrogance and hatred are the wares peddled in the thoroughfares. How but in custom and in ceremony are innocence and beauty born. Ceremonies a name for the rich horn, and custom for the spreading laurel tree. And may her bridegroom here refers to husband, bring her to a house. When she will be married, she will be brought to a house of her husband where all is accustomed. A particular pattern of traditions and customs is being followed in that house. Ceremonious here refers to the ceremonies, a way of life based on spiritual values. For arrogance and hatred are the wares peddled in the thoroughfares. Arrogance and hatred, they are found among the, peddled in the thoroughfares, found among the ordinary status and caliber, the common message. Arrogance, hatred, arrogance, proud feelings. Arrogance and hatred are found in the common streets. That is, these are the qualities of the common people. How? But in custom and in ceremony are innocence and beauty born. Ceremony is a name for the rich horn, and custom for the spreading laurel tree. Ceremony and tradition preserve spiritual values, all that is noble and lofty, and pass them on from generation to generation. Spreading laurel tree. Laurel tree, the rich horns, the horn of plenty, symbol of prosperity. Here in these lines, the poet says that his daughter be married to a good aristocratic bridegroom who would take her to a well-appointed home, which is well accustomed, where life is aristocratically ceremonious. Neither arrogance nor hatred should be seen in that house, for only in the atmosphere of custom and ceremony can innocence and real beauty be born. Moreover, arrogance and hatred are found in the common streets. The aristocratic way of life is rooted in custom and tradition. Ceremony and tradition preserve culture, which preserve spiritual values. Thank you all. This is all about this poem. If you have any questions related to this poem, you can ask me. Thank you.